Today I want to begin by saying a few words about the Paschal candle. This candle, which was lit with great solemnity at the Easter Vigil, to symbolize the light which shines out in the darkness, the light which is Christ, the star that knows no setting. And from the vigil on, it has stood in the sanctuary, lit at all the services, to remind us of how the risen Christ stood in the midst of his disciples and was seen of them, showing himself alive, as the scripture says, by many infallible proofs, teaching to them for 40 days the things which pertain to the kingdom of heaven, before at last being taken up from them to sit at God's right hand, the event we celebrated on Thursday, the feast of the Ascension. And on the Ascension, after the gospel had been proclaimed, the Paschal candle was extinguished to symbolize, everything is symbolic in the liturgy, to symbolize Christ's departure from his disciples. And we keep the candle standing there unlit, a practice found in some earlier liturgical traditions, as a symbol of the fact that Christ is absent, he has gone away, and the disciples are bereft. But their bereavement is only temporary, for Christ has promised them, I will not leave you orphans. He is going to send to them the Spirit of adoption, who will make them the children of God and partakers of the divine nature. The Spirit who descended on them at Pentecost, and who never has nor ever will forsake the church, but abides in her forever, dwelling in her as in a temple, guarding her in the truth, and uniting her in the bond of peace. The fervent charity, the fervent love of which Peter speaks to us in the epistle, using the word ektenes, which means stretched out. The Greeks used it to describe an athlete flexing, muscle straining, just as we, Peter is saying, just as we must strive and strain to love all without exception. For what does Peter say next? Practice hospitality, practice philoxenia, that is the love of the alien, the love of the stranger. Although St. John Chrysostom says there are no strangers in the church. We are all brothers and sisters, members of the same family, called upon to mourn with those who mourn and rejoice with those who rejoice. The whole body suffering when one member is in pain.